You're listening to the Moody Mommies podcast.
Audio warning. You may or may not hear kids screaming and yelling in the background, or us screaming or yelling at them to keep it together. Hi guys.
It's us. We are your Moody Mommies. I am Vanessa.
And I'm Jessica.
And we're back. We're so excited to have some mommy time, chat it up a bit.
Yeah, we have a lot to catch you guys up on and excuses for why we've been MIA. It's been peaks and valleys and, you know, all of it. But we're here and our Instagram presence has even dwindled a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
But we'll get on that. It's hard to post when, you know, you're going through, I mean, everything we're going through feels like it's really private and personal because it is. But we're going to share it with you guys here.
Yes, because we pretty much share everything.
We
do. Almost.
We do. So, I mean, I guess this week we're going to be just you and I. Next week we're going to pick back up with our guest. Or not next week, but next episode. We're going to have somebody come talk about swim. That's going to be interesting.
Some water safety.
Water safety for our little ones. But this is going to be just about us for you guys. I had a good Christmas. Did you have a good Christmas, Ness?
I did. I went over to my mom's, you know, sisters, everything. Good times.
Yeah.
What about you?
Christmas was good. It was mellow. I had a couple people come to our house and, you know, kept it chill mode. But this is around the time where everything kind of got a little crazy for us, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So Vanessa, you have the real story here. So I'm going to let you kind of talk us through what's been going on with your family.
Yeah. So Christmas was great, and let's say, you know, my husband, he works very, you know, odd hours. He goes in later in the evening. So the time that he's coming home is very, very late hours of the night. So I've always been kind of like, hey, when you get out of work, can you call me? So that way I know you're on your way home. I know what time you left. Just in case anything, you know, you're coming home at these crazy hours where people are driving drunk, whatnot. Anything can happen.
Right, yeah.
So I went to my niece's birthday party, wasn't feeling too good. I was actually coming down with a cold. I didn't even want to go. And I still forced myself to go, took the kids, came home. I fell asleep early that night. And I woke up and I was thinking, he's not home yet, you know. He should be here, but
what time was that?
It was, I think, around 1.
Okay.
And I fell back asleep, and before I knew it, my phone was ringing, and it was him. And mind you, it's past midnight on Friday, so we're looking at Saturday, December 30th. And the day before New Year's Eve, and I get a phone call from him, and I answer it, and he's telling me, I'm having the worst night of my life. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, it instantly just woke me up completely. And he's like, you know, I gave this guy a ride home from work. And when I was slowing down to pull up to his house, he lived right here in Compton. And when I was slowing down to pull up to his house, a car pulled up on the side of me and pulled out a gun on me. And so he instantly just took off. And mind you, this night, the fog was like the thickest ever. Like, you couldn't see anything outside. So he takes off to get away from these guys with the gun, and they start chasing him, and he's just flying down the street in the fog. And the street ended. and there was nothing to tell him that the street was ending. So he was going too fast. He couldn't slow down in time to go left or right. So he flew straight into a nursery. And so he knocked down the fence and he flew head into it's like a storage container, like those metal storage containers that, they use for like the ports and stuff. He missed the first one and he flew into the second one, and he wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
Mm-hmm.
And so this happens, and the first thing he does is call my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad is already basically on his way by the time I'm finding out about this. So I'm freaking out because I have 2 babies asleep. I can't just jump out of bed and run to his rescue, even though that's exactly what I wanted to do. But I didn't want to take them out in the freezing cold. I was just so torn with what to do with myself, So I called my sister, crying, hoping like she would wake up and, come and help. And she did, of course. So she got here, her husband stayed with the kids, and her and I jumped in the car and we headed to where my husband told me he was. And mind you, it's super foggy. We're trying to, drive slow, but also get to him because, we're worried about what's happening. And he calls me and he tells me that my dad has picked him up and he's on his way to our house to hurry up and turn around. So I get to my house and I take one look at him, and his face is just covered in blood.
Oh my God.
He can't walk. My dad had to carry him and get him into the car. And I'm just flipping out like, oh my goodness. So I called 911 right away, and I run in the house to get him like a jacket and everything. And the baby's awake, screaming bloody murder for me.
Luna,
yeah. So I had to, take her with me. I had to take her to the hospital with me. Luckily, they took him to a hospital that's right down the street from my house. And, right away they're doing x-rays and, they don't really know what's going on. And I want to say maybe an hour or 2 later, they did a x-ray and they seen that his hip was dislocated and fractured.
do you want to talk about what happened in that meantime when you weren't with him? Like what you've heard, what Joey told you happened?
So I totally forgot to mention that when he crashed into this nursery, your instant reflex, or when you get in an accident, is to jump out of the car. So when my husband tried to get out of the car, he instantly fell. And so he picked himself back up and got back into the vehicle because it's a nursery. So the car just started getting swarmed with dogs.
So he just had to like crawl back in, like army
right,
crawl
like
back
he
in?
just like basically had to like pull his body up on with the the car doors or whatever it was that he can get himself back into that car with. And the coworker that he was giving a ride home to was just like completely fine. He had his seatbelt on, and he's just like flipping out, like, "Oh my gosh, those guys are gonna come back for us. They're gonna come back for us. They're gonna come back for us."
Everybody keeps asking me this. Do you think that guy was in a gang or like knows something about that? That's why he was so paranoid, or do you think it was just all the circumstances that made that guy so sketchy?
I'm thinking maybe it was all the circumstances, and I mean, he knows where he lives. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Like, I just feel like he totally know his surroundings were, and that was my biggest concern of why I was trying to get to him so suddenly, because I was afraid that these guys were gonna go back and find them, and it's they're stuck at a dead end. He's injured in a car. Like, They could just walk up to him and just shoot him, you know? So that was my biggest fear and why I was like trying to race against time to rush to him.
So after this, that's when he calls your dad. Once he like gets in, gets away
Right.
from the
So I guess
dogs.
once he got back in the car and gets away from the dogs, he calls my dad and lets him know what happened. And my dad jumps out of bed and rushes to his rescue. And this is the crazy and suckiest part of it all is my dad gets there and he's tries to find it. He finds it. So my dad pulls up and my dad has a flashlight and he's like in the driveway of where the the car flew into. And he's looking around and a cop happened to be passing by and seen my dad outside of a nursery at 3 in the morning. What are you doing here, sir? So my dad's there trying to rescue my husband, and now the cops have him. Put your hands up. What are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. They're hassling him, and he's trying to explain to them, like, my son-in-law got in a car accident. He's back there. Like, I'm just trying to help him. Like, he just called me, like, please just let me get back there and make sure he's okay. So luckily, they didn't give him too bad of a hard time, and they let him get to him and
Did they go with
get him in the car.
Did they go with your dad to help him?
No,
They just
they
like, okay,
didn't.
bye.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of police?
Yeah, and then like when my dad told them like, hey, this is what happened. Like he just got chased by two gang members. You know, they had a gun. Oh yeah, well, this stuff happens every night. That was their answer. They were just so unconcerned, not a care in the world that there was two bad guys out there to go catch.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when, my dad brought him back to the house. I called 911 and they picked him up from here. And so I'm in the ER with him. I want to say it's about 5 in the morning now. And, I have the baby and, my dad's there with me. My sister's here at the house with Zoe, and I'm just all over the place because, of course, it's the ER. You don't really get answers within the first 20 minutes or hour that you're there. It's nothing but waiting, and the waiting is the hardest part because it's just like, oh my God, like, your biggest fear with a car accident is that there could be like internal bleeding or just, it could be your worst nightmare, and it is your worst nightmare.
Yeah, because you said
So,
he hit it. He wasn't wearing his seatbelt, like you were saying. And his head like smashed against the glass of the window.
His
right?
head was cracked open, and yeah, the windshield was cracked where his head cracked it open, and the car was completely just totaled. It was a nightmare to see, and to see that he walked away from that, it was a miracle. Luna starts to get pretty fussy, and I know, like, okay, I gotta get her something to eat, So my dad and I step away to get something to eat for the baby, and we come back, and there's like a whole trauma team around him.
Oh my God.
Like, yes, and I'm like trying not to flip out, but in my head I am. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm freaking out because I'm just thinking, did something happen when I walked away, or what is it? Did they see something in those x-rays? What happened? So I'm standing outside the doors are glass, so you can see everything in there. And there's about like 6 or 7 people around him, and I can hear a drill gun, and they're drilling holes on the sides of his knee. And there's one guy gets his leg and like climbs on the bed with him and is like picking his leg up over and over again, and I could hear all of his bones breaking, like cracking over and over again. And I'm just like, oh my God, like what the hell is going on right now, So what they were trying to do was put his hip back into place, like just pop it back into place. And they couldn't do that. So because they couldn't do that, they were drilling the holes on the side of his knee so that they could put a traction on his leg to hold his hip in place.
So a traction is what? Like, in case somebody doesn't know what that is.
So it's basically like it bears weight. It's so they drilled two holes on the side of his knee, and there was like a metal piece that went through his knee, and it connected to the foot of the bed, and then there was a big bag of water weights. So I believe the weight was about like 20 pounds. So basically that water is pulling on his knee so that it keeps his hip in place so it doesn't pop back out of place. Now, let me remind you guys that this happened December 30th. So every hospital is not staffed during the holidays like they would be if this happened on December 10th or February 10th. You know, the holidays, they are not, they don't have very many operation rooms running unless it's like a life or death situation. They're not going to operate on you. So this traction gets put into place, I want to say around 9 a.m. on December 30th. And my husband had to sit in that bed with his leg chained to it until January 2nd.
Insane.
Because he could not perform the surgery until the day after New Year's.
Like it sounds like just a few days, but just imagining laying down for how many days is that? 4?
I want to,
yeah, basically 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just lying there. You can't get up. You can't do anything. Like we're so fidgety. We are up and about all the time.
Right.
And so just and that's like, it's so painful to have just all that pressure on your leg and your hip, just nonstop pain for 4 days.
Right.
And I mean, and I know the pain didn't go away once he left the hospital. It was just, that was what he was dealing with, being completely immobile for how many hours is that? I can't do the math.
I don't even know.
Somebody will do it. If you're listening, you count the hours for us.
Well, that was the worst part of it all. It was like they basically put a Band-Aid on him for like 4 days. Like, oh, we can't operate on you, so just stay still. You can't move. You got to stay like this until we can come and get you.
Yeah.
You know, so it was tough, guys. Like, you have to remember, I have 2 babies on top of what I'm going through with him. So that was another issue, was having people come and help me with my kids and be here and have someone to be here to take care of them so I can be there to take care of him. So it was tough, and it's still tough every day. And
he's in the hospital extremely frustrated, and the amazing thing is that you recognize everything that was going on, where some people take it really personal, and they're just like, oh, they're being mean to me, and like, why am I even being here for them? And you just like, you know better than that. Like, hey man, like, he's frustrated and he's gonna take it out on, you know, who loves him the most, like who's here, who's gonna be his punching bag. And you know, like, you made the choice to be that, instead of being like, you know what, you sit in the hospital by yourself and I'm gonna be with our kids.
Exactly. It was very hard. It is the hardest thing that I've had to go through in my life, to have to watch someone you love be in so much pain and you can't help them. You know, you have to sit there and watch, and you're trying so hard to be their cheerleader, but you just really are trying not to fall apart yourself, you know?
Oh, you're doing a great job.
I'm trying. I hide it well, but thank you.
But like, this is one of the things that we had been talking about in previous episodes about, you know, having a village to help you with your family. And you were kind of saying that you felt like you didn't have one, but after this happened, I feel like a lot of things changed for you.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like I definitely regretted and I choked on my words in that previous episode because I do have a village, and I feel like maybe a part of me feeling like I didn't have one was my mouth. My problem is my mouth. I shut my mouth or I open it too much, and I'm learning, I have a lot of attitude and I'm learning how to use it wisely. And I'm also learning how to ask for help. Like, I'm not vocal about speaking up about when I need something. And this experience, I knew there was no way that I was going to get through it with trying to be tough girl and say, I got it. I could figure it all out. I could take these kids to the hospital with me. We'll be fine. Like, there was no way I could do that. I couldn't pretend this time.
Yeah.
So I had to. My sister came and she visited, I believe, like the first day that it happened, or maybe even the second. And I have a niece, she's 14, and, she has four siblings, so she's pretty hands-on with kids. And I, she offered to stay to help out with the kids. And, when they were ready to leave the hospital, I spoke up and I was just like, you know what? I think I do need Brianna to stay. Like, it would really help me a lot. And my niece and my sister and her husband, I really don't know what I would have done without them the whole week. Like, he was in the hospital for an entire week, like from Saturday to Saturday. So for a whole week, I basically wasn't home. Like, I couldn't spend the night because Luna is still nursing and she does look for me through the night. So like every night I would just stay there as late as I possibly could with him. I would come home, wake up, make them breakfast, and leave. Like, and go straight to him and be gone every day. That was the same exact thing. So it was really, really tough because for a week, I probably seen my girls for like an hour every day, if that.
Yeah, it's
So it
so
was
hard.
really, really hard, but they adjusted pretty well. Everyone told me that they behaved good and they didn't cry too much for me, which I think it was maybe a good thing for us because, we're always with each other. We have severe separation anxiety. Um, so I felt like it did help, with Luna being super attached. It was unfortunate, of course, because you can't get a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old to understand what happened to daddy and why we're not home. I mean, I'm sure they looked at it as like a vacation, like, oh, mom and dad aren't here, party time. Like, I get to hang out with my cool aunts and cousins and, whoever comes by to help out. And there was a lot, my best friends, they came over and helped out. Like, you came and hung out, and it's just, you guys are just amazing. Like, I really am very, very grateful and blessed with the people that I have in my life, and I'm very, very aware of that. And it's things like this, that make you just appreciate the things that you take for granted. And it sucks that something so horrible has to put you back in your place.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that just health, like, people take their health for granted, and it's something that is definitely a blessing that we all, I mean, just your body, just using everything. I mean, you don't realize how lucky you are to get up and be able to walk away from your own bed, like, so that's the thing. It's part of this recovery is, my husband is not going to be able to walk for quite some time. He had to do surgery because he dislocated his hip so bad and he fractured it so bad. There's like a wall where your femur goes into, and he basically just blew out his whole wall. There's like no hip wall. So they had to put in a metal plate in there, a metal bar, some pins, some screws. So they had to basically just put them all back together like that. And now we're on our road to recovery from here. And it's tough, you know, it's
They said
my
what,
husband,
6 months to a year?
yeah, I mean, that's what they told him. It's 6 months to a year. And hearing that, it sounds like forever. And of course, my husband is just picturing himself in a walker, on a
Lying in
wheelchair,
bed.
on crutches for a whole year. And that's not the case. But, you know, having to be the person to remind him of all of that, and not let him get depressed and let this situation bring him down, because it's going to bring us all down, you know? So I have to be our backbone as much as I possibly can. And it's exhausting, but um, I definitely would say that it's something that's going to teach us patience
Yeah.
if we didn't have any, like,
You know,
and that's what it's going to take, you know, to get him better and healthy. And we'll get there. It's going to be a road to recovery for sure, because it's this and the kids on top of it. So
yeah.
it's tough. But yeah, so he can't at the moment put any, we're only 2 weeks after surgery right now. So he can't put any weight on it just yet. And it's tough, but we're getting through it. Every day is a new day. He's a little bit more healed. So
That's good.
we're getting there.
It just, I mean, I know he was, of course, like we were saying, really frustrated. Does he feel like he's easing up a little bit? Is he giving you a little bit of an easier time, or?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like most of his frustrations were definitely before the surgery. Like that traction, like torture, right? Like you have metal drilled through your knee and you're chained to a bed. Like you can't move. I mean, I would probably be frustrated after the first day, and he probably was only frustrated with me the last day, you know?
Yeah.
So he did pretty well. And um yeah, he's doing good. He's not he's very caring with me, because I guess it's crazy, because before this happened, I would try to get him to understand what my day was full of. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like, what do you mean? How hard could it be? That's what every working husband
Right.
says, you know, like, oh my gosh, all you do is you get to stay home all day. Like it's just a breeze, it's just a walk in the park, you know? So I feel like with him not being able to help me, and him sitting here seeing how hard my day is, I feel like that's kind of what's killing him right now,
Yeah.
is seeing like, oh my gosh, like I should have understood you before, and I'm sorry that I didn't, you know? And I think now he feels a little bit worse, because he knows that it just added on to my my workload, you know, because you know, I have to care for him as well on top of the kids. So,
That's a
but that's
lot.
my job. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what you sign up for when you marry somebody, for better or worse.
No. I'm just kidding.
I know.
I, um,
But yeah, that's where I've been hiding out, guys. I'm so sorry. I've been super busy. Jessica's been trying to hunt me down for some moody mommy talk, and I've kind of been dreading this episode, because I knew it was going to be tough to tell my story, but I'm sure you guys have been wondering where we've been hiding.
yeah, I mean, not that I'm trying to hunt you down, because of course, I mean, how could I not understand? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you
even,
totally get it.
yeah, it's just like, well,
You're the
we'll
best.
get to it when we get to it. And what else can we do? Emergencies happen,
Yeah.
and this is something that has to take priority over everything else. Um,
Yes.
But yeah, we have set up some dates with people to do some other podcasts on. So those commitments we're going to keep to. But our one-on-one episodes may come and go here and there. We never really know when we get time to talk, just you and I. But we still do our This Is Us podcast. So that's the other thing, to do both the podcasts with such a little bit of time is pretty difficult.
I know. I feel like, well, I don't know. I'm happy the show is back on, of course. So, yeah. But if it wasn't, I feel like I would definitely have more time for Moody, of course.
Yeah, because that would our time. We would talk about Moody Mommies then, and then, we wouldn't have the show. If you guys don't watch This Is Us, you're crazy because they're just winning awards like crazy.
They're the best. I know this is in our This Is Us podcast, people, but you're going to hear my comment for a second. Yeah. I read that something really cute that supposedly like the kid actors didn't have tickets or whatever to the Golden Globes, so like the adult actors took them with them.
You know what? Yeah, that was for the SAG Awards, the Screen Actors Guild. Okay. So I guess in order to get an invite to the Actors Guild, you have to have come out in like X amount of episodes, and the kids weren't featured enough in the show to qualify for a ticket, so the actors gave up their +1 so that they could bring the kids.
That is freaking adorable.
I know. And what's Susan Colucci,
Beth,
yeah, she brought the guy who played young William.
No way. Mm-hmm. That's so cool.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, you need to watch this freaking show. Like, I'm not kidding.
And then listen to our other podcasts, and you'll totally get it.
You will get it.
Yeah, thanks, bye. So, Jess, let's get a little Jess time. What's been going on with you, young lady?
I know.
You got a little something to tell us?
I know. I said this on I posted this on Instagram, but in case you missed the memo, I had a little bit of a different holiday season where right before Christmas I actually got engaged. And like, who else is going to be my maid of honor than freaking Vanessa, right?
Duh. I'm so honored and excited. I cannot freaking wait to plan this wedding, you guys. It's going to be lit.
Yes, maybe. I felt so, with everything that was going on with you guys, I almost felt like, if you don't have time to do it, then don't even worry about it. I know being a maid of honor is a lot of responsibility, and you have so much. I already knew you had a lot on your plate, and then like 4 days later or 6 days later, Joey gets in this huge accident.
I know.
So, I've definitely been trying to. It's still early. I just got engaged. Even though we're doing it really, really fast, we're going to get married this summer. Just because, guys, I'm getting old. And guess what?
You're not getting old.
Guess who got their first gray hair? And
did it happen? Are you serious?
I've had it for like a few weeks.
No. I think I asked my sister one time, and I think she told me the same thing. Like, oh, 30, and I'm like, shut up, because I'm just,
right
30's around the corner.
You're right around the river bend, girl.
I am, but I'm gonna call you old for the next 8 months.
That's fine. That's fine. I could live with that. I know my 30th birthday is next week, like exactly 1 week from today.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Yeah, so we're gonna do
big dirty 30.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna do a little 30th birthday / engagement party.
Yes.
I've just been researching wedding stuff. Vanessa and I have gone to dress fittings.
Play dress up. Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
I know, but I need to tell you something.
What?
You need to learn my angles.
Oh my God. I get shit for this all the time from Caroline. Like, she hates my guts because I can't take a photo. And I'm sorry for both of you guys. I apologize for your life and those moments that I messed up for you. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like the worst person ever with any kind of device. You know that.
You're not. It was just really
We'll
funny.
work on it though. We'll work on it. I
And I
will
was like,
master it by the big day. I promise you.
I'm like, I'm down here and the camera is up there, so I'm already short, and now I look like extra troll, but that's fine. That's okay. Speaking of troll, of course, I got engaged, so people are asking to see my ring. And on more
Mhm.
than one occasion, people have been like, shut up, that's not your hand. Like, that's so
No.
embarrassing. Yeah, it's so embarrassing. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was born with Shrek's fingers, but this is it. That's what they look like, and that's what my ring looks like. Thanks a
You have
bunch.
little mini me hands or something,
Uh,
Jess.
I guess. I mean, I guess. I guess. So just so you guys know, you will not be seeing any close-ups of my hand and my ring because I've already been offended.
She's hiding those babies.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. But I mean, so far things have been going decent for me. We found our venue pretty much right away. I'm hoping
Yes.
everything works out and that it's not some like weird, I don't know.
Eh,
We're working with like a private property, so you just never know when it's not like an official business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But positive vibes only.
Yes, yes, yes. One of my best friends is getting married too, so I just came back from Mexico yesterday. I'm going back
Look at
again. I
you.
know, for her bachelorette party, and that was a
How
lot of
was
fun.
it?
It was fun. She's not really a drinker, so it wasn't like a crazy, go hard or go home kind of bachelorette party. It was really like keep it together. The first night we stayed at the Airbnb that we rented out, and we moved all the furniture, and we basically just danced to our old jams from high school and
Nice.
middle school. Um, yeah, and then the second night we went out for a little while, but I don't know. The clubs are trying to be American, so they play a lot of house music, but the DJ sucks, so it just wasn't any good.
Oh my God.
The drinks are all straight up sugar.
Wow.
Like, you can't get drunk there because there's no alcohol in their drinks, but they charge you like there is.
Oh my gosh.
I know. We got a boat ride to this beach. It was super beautiful. Um,
Nice.
I
Where
know.
did you go? You went to Jalisco, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We went to Puerto Vallarta, yeah, which is in Jalisco. And then in February we're going to Mazatlan. February, dumb. In March we're going to Mazatlan. So I'm excited to do that. And then I mean, before you know it, once I'm done with her wedding, it's gonna be like heavy,
Time for
like
yours.
yeah, it's gonna be like
Time to plan yours.
my bachelor party, my bridal shower,
Yep.
the wedding, and then that's it. Then I mean, I guess honeymoon stuff I have to plan for, but I have such a big year going on. We're probably gonna postpone that to start in 2019.
No, you have to go right away.
No, well, I
So
think
you can get pregnant. No, I'm just
no.
kidding.
Well, we'll probably do a semi-local getaway, like something in California,
Yeah.
um, and then do like a big out of the country trip next year because I'm leaving the
Nice.
country too much this year.
They're gonna be like, this girl's smuggling drugs. Like this little thing is smuggling drugs for sure. She's taking too many trips to Mexico.
for too
Tackle her
sh-
down.
for too short a time. I'm just in and out back to California over and over. Yeah, but it's nice. It was nice to get away. I was really worried, and I had posted on IG about what do other moms do when they're away from their kids, and pretty much across the board, everybody said they don't know what to do. That
Yeah.
they're just like, I'm struggling with that. It's so hard for me to go to work, or just I can't even like leave the room. It's everybody is
It's
stressing
hard.
over separation
Yeah.
anxiety.
I had to do it for like the whole week in the hospital, and it was the hardest thing. Like I was just like so anxious. Like, oh my gosh.
I know, and you were thinking that like your breastfeeding journey was gonna come to an end.
I was like, I'm gonna lose my milk for sure. There's just so many things to think about, and it sucks being away. As much as we're like, oh, okay, sometimes we need a break, but once we're away, we're just like, get me my child. Give me my child back.
Yeah, but you know what? I did, of course, really miss Justine and I miss Ernie a lot, but it kind of like felt good to be with my
To
friends.
be away.
Yeah, like the friends that I went with, no one has kids, so it wasn't like there wasn't any baby talk. It was just
Or
all.
other people bringing up their kids to make you miss yours.
Hmm. Yeah, it was just a lot of like just young stuff and just really trying to focus on the bride and make sure she's having a good time. So,
Well, we're gonna have to take a getaway trip for your bachelorette so I can have a reason to be like, I gotta go. It's for
hmm,
Jessica's wedding.
I know.
Mommy needs some time away.
I know, at least like a weekend, at least one night.
Yes,
I
definitely.
know when last year I was in another friend's wedding and I had to do the same. They were staying in the hotel for 2 nights, but I just stayed for one. I couldn't bring myself to stay an extra night, and I was still breastfeeding at the time, so I stayed one night. And the next morning we were supposed to have brunch, but I left. I woke up in the
Skipped out.
morning and I was like, I have to go. Like, I'm sorry. I can't do another 6 hours. I just want to be home. But I
Yeah.
think that when you're breastfeeding, that kind of has a lot to do with not wanting to separate.
Yeah. You like feel like, no, my priority is with my baby
I
right
mean,
now. I gotta get there.
yeah, like your body is still really connected to your child. I mean, it always is, but I mean, you're literally still feeding them from your body.
Hmm.
And I think because I'm not breastfeeding anymore is why I feel like okay taking the
You're
time
ready
away.
for the break.
Right, because I know, I mean, obviously she's still sad and she still cried for me and we FaceTimed. So I don't have an iPhone. I don't know why I said we FaceTime. But we
Me too.
you guys you guys know what I mean. We video chatted. Um and she didn't even really care to see me. She said like, "Hi, mommy." Talked for
And
like
then she
a
was
minute
off.
and then ran off. Yeah.
Dude, that's how Zoe was with me. Like the whole week, she was just like, who's coming over to watch me today? Like, get lost. Like, I don't care if you're here. And I'm like, ugh, I was really offended.
Yeah, but I mean, Luna didn't feel that way because you're still nursing her.
I know. But she kind of did too. Like, some of the days I would come home and she was just like, you're here?
No.
Where's, bring back my cool aunts,
Oh
you know? And I'm
gosh.
like, whatever,
The ones
kids.
that let me do whatever I want. Let me watch Moana on
Hmm.
repeat.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because, like, oh my goodness, the day we came back from the hospital, like, oh my gosh, these girls were both literally like crying at my legs, like both of them, while I'm like trying to help him lay on the bed, do all these, you know, what, important things like settle in because it's our first, we're trying to learn how to how he's comfortable, how to make him comfortable at home, and these kids are like flipping out. Like they're super needy when I'm here, of course.
Yeah.
So, and
It,
my sister was here and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for you because they were not acting like that the whole time you were gone and like they are obsessed with you."
yeah, when I went, they were
Yeah,
chilling. Like Justine just
I
went,
know.
took over.
I'm like, they must want a new mommy or something. They want me to run away.
They
Like they
don't.
never they never want to see me again.
No, that's not
I'm just kidding.
true. Kids just give their
No,
moms a hard time.
they totally do. So cute. They love us too much. They love us too much to love us.
Dude, yesterday when I got back, um, of course, she really missed me, so she wanted to talk to me. But then I had just been on like this. I was traveling all day, so when I got home, I'm like, "Ugh, I want to use the bathroom. Like, I want to be in my regular toilet because in Mexico they don't have toilet seat covers.
What? Oh, yes, I do know that. I went to Cabo.
So I had to like squat the whole
Everywhere.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got home, I was like, I want to like finally like freaking sit down on a toilet. And then Justine's like, I want to watch you. And I'm like, get out. Please leave me alone.
Dude, when you cannot go to the bathroom, like even like I swear, I probably don't get to go to the bathroom in peace, not even once a day. Like, not even one time. Not once.
I do. She's usually pretty good because I don't let her in
Yeah.
unless like no one's home, and I'm like, okay, fine, you can come in here. But there was, Ernie was here, my mom was here, so I was like, no, you can't come in here.
Like,
And she was like,
kick rocks, Justine. Mommy
yeah,
needs like 5 minutes.
for real. Just leave me alone. Let me just relax my body for a second. But yeah, it was good. I was really, really happy to see her, and I just brought her like a little T-shirt back,
How
and
cute.
she loved it. She wanted to put it on right away, but I have to wash it, so
You're
I
like,
had to hide it
this
from
is
her.
from Mexico, honey.
Yeah, I
You
gotta
gotta
hide
wash this.
it. Mhm. But
That's
I
so
mean,
funny.
so for both of us, we are gonna continue to have a lot of stuff going on for the next 6 months.
Yes, but our number one is gonna be planning this wedding that oh my gosh,
No, no,
I'm
no,
so
no, no,
excited
no, no,
for.
no, no, no. Number one is Joey's health.
Well,
The one,
duh. But the
and
number
number
one
two,
fun
and then
thing,
number
come on.
two, and then number two is working for number one. Yeah,
Nerd.
we yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be exciting.
Yes.
We're gonna go again this weekend to try on some more dresses.
Yeah. Hopefully she says yes to the dress. I'll let you guys know. Maybe I'll let you guys see our dress shopping mission through our Moody Mommy story for the day.
Maybe, but they can't see like me.
Maybe. They can't see details. They
Yeah,
could just see us like talking. That's
because
it.
Ernie follows. Ernie
Oh
follows Moody
no,
Mommies.
Ernie. You have to unfollow for just like a couple hours.
He doesn't listen to our podcast, but he doesn't support me like that. I'm
He
just
doesn't love
kidding.
us that much.
I'm
He's like, I have
kidding.
to hear you guys talking when I'm like in your presence. I don't want to actually hit play and hear you.
Seriously, huh? Um, no, but yeah. So nobody can see exactly the dresses we try on unless it's like a definite no.
Yeah, like a hell no.
Yeah. I
But
had
I
a,
don't think we would be trying on any hell no's,
I had,
like
I had,
severe ones.
I had like a couple of those at David's bridals. I mean,
Hell no's?
yeah, where it's like you can't even see the dresses. It's weird. They have them really covered, and they just tell you go around and take pictures of some of the barcodes, I guess, and then they're gonna go
Uh-huh.
around and get an idea of what it is that you like. But you can't even tell what the dresses look like because they're freaking bagged up.
No way.
Yeah, so then they like brought me the dress that I, scanned, and I'm just like, ew, like this is not what I thought the dress was at
Yeah, what a
all.
waste of time.
It really did feel like it because unlike when you and I went, where we had our consultant and that just
Mm-hmm.
that one consultant was for us, they were so busy it was like shared consultation.
Oh,
So
that's
they'd bring me a dress and then she'd go right and help somebody else, and then so I was like staying in the dresses for like 10 minutes at it's like, and I'm like, take this off of me already. I don't want to wear this dress. It's so
Yeah,
ugly.
I like the place that we went, and I felt like you put on a lot of very pretty dresses, and it was just so fun, like to see you in all of these different styles, and it's just exciting. I'm so excited to do this with you. It's gonna
I'm
be so much
glad.
fun.
I'm glad that at least, we have some good stuff to go along with all the like shitty stuff that's
Yes,
going on
something
too.
to keep me alive. Something to keep me positive about.
I give you a reason to get pulled out of your house away from your family for a little
Yes,
bit.
like, oh, I gotta go. And it happens to be something totally fun. So,
Uh-huh.
bye.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I feel like that's kind of what's been going on with me. It's just been nonstop of everything. Making a freaking wedding website and trying to figure out invitations and get everybody's email addresses. It's taking me forever to get everybody's email.
I'm sure you have like a million people you know.
No, 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 no. You know what? We're actually inviting a lot less people than I thought we were.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Have you started that yet? A guest list? I'm sure
Yeah,
you have.
yeah.
What are you at?
We're like under 200.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. I know. Ernie's family is not that big. And then, he only really knows his dad's side of the family. And me, I only really have my mom's side. And a few people, maybe like 10 or 15 people from my dad's side. So it's really small. And everybody else is just our friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we let them know where they could find us? Or do you want to tell them a little bit more about what's been going on? Or we pretty much covered it, huh?
We've just been all over the place with our good and our bad. So we're going to try to find some more time to get some of these episodes out to you guys, chat it up with what's going on with us, with our wedding planning progress, and of course, some talk about what these crazy kids are up to these days. But yeah, in the meantime, you guys can Google us. We are the Moody Mommy Podcast. You guys can find us on Instagram at the Moody Mommy Podcast. Where else, Jess?
We're on iTunes and Stitcher as the Moody Mommies Podcast. You could also find us as This Is Us and the Moody Mommies, which covers the show we were just talking about that you guys have to watch. And seriously, like, I'm not joking, you have to rate and review us.
We need guys. It. Like, is anybody even listening? I say this all the time. Like,
I know they are. I get to see the numbers on the backside, so I know people are listening. But we really need your help because there's so many podcasts out there. It's hard to find. So if you rate and review the Moody Mommies Podcast, and please with the This Is Us podcast, because that's the one we really need help and support on. That one.
We need all the love, guys. All the love everywhere. It takes 2 seconds. So.
And doing these podcasts takes a lot of our time. So.
I know.
We would
so if you guys want to hear us, let us know you love us.
Yeah. We started a Twitter. We opened a Twitter account, but I haven't really got a chance to use it yet. But we're under the Moody Mommies. If you want to give us a follow, maybe people are following us. It'll give me a reason to want to post about things.
Give us a reason to tweet elite.
But our main source is Instagram, which Vanessa already talked about.
Yeah, so find us, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, rate, review. Send us all your love. Send us your thoughts. Let us know what you guys want to hear us talking about. Any questions you have for us, you guys can email us. And in the meantime, stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks with our Aqua Safety Talk.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Say Moody Mommies.
Moody Mommies.
Moody Mommies Podcast.